Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, Saint Seer. I'm just gonna jump straight into the topic, which is the protests, or all of the protests that's been going on. As you can see, I'm outside today. I needed some fresh air. It's beautiful outside and I just needed to soak that up as I discuss this. Protests can be a very effective method. It really can, if done correctly. But when it's not done correctly, it's counterproductive and counterproductive, I should say, counterproductive. Now, there was plenty of protests going on around the country yesterday, specifically here in Atlanta, where it started off very peaceful, and to be quite honest, was beautiful, right? There weren't just the black people of Atlanta. No, there were other people of color, there were people of Hispanic heritage that was marching, holding up their flags, showing solidarity. There were white people, there were white men and white women who honestly were being just or expressing just as expressing just as much passion as the black people and the other people of color in regards to this matter. And honestly, that was an amazing thing to see, because I mean, as we all know, a lot of times that, you know, there are white people who sympathize but don't actually take action because, you know, I mean, for whatever reason that they have, they just don't. And that's what we're used to seeing. So for me to see that, it was very heartwarming. It was beautiful. It was a great representation of Atlanta, because Atlanta is a very diverse place in regards to the various cultures that and ethnicities that floats around. That right there was a great representation of it. Now, what was not a good representation was when things got violent. In my opinion, violent protests are not effective. In fact, they are counterproductive. Why? Because if you think about it, especially, you know, when it comes to looting and vandalizing businesses within your own community, it's like having a school bully or a bully from another neighborhood come to your neighborhood, wreaks havoc, leaves. You're filled with anger naturally, but then you start destroying your own home or your own neighborhood. And that's, if I'm gonna be frank, which I am, that is dumb. Okay, it's dumb and it's not wise, because they're gonna go home in their neighborhood and be good. Now, I'm not condoning or even suggesting that there needs to be looting and vandalism in other communities. I'm not saying that at all. But most definitely, let's not do that to our own, right? So once you become violent in a protest, you literally obliterate and destroy the message, okay? And then you literally give them the permission and almost even justification to harm you, to tear gas you, to in any other forms of harm, and treat you like an animal. You literally give them permission to, and almost, there is no justification, but almost justifies it. Okay, like we are in an era where we are progressive thinkers. We're highly educated. We are, as a people, and I'm not just saying black people, but just as a generation, we are very educated. So let's use our abilities that we have and come up with a better strategy. Now, for me, I believe in infiltrating the system, right? Infiltrate. We need more black and brown people of color behind badges, period. And I commend and I respect those who are, the ones who are focused on helping, because some are not. Some are so gung-ho about being part of this blue fraternity. That's how they treat it, right? And maybe rightfully so, right? But they're so gung-ho on that they won't speak up for you know, on things that matter, things that occur. They won't. So I'm not talking about y'all, but those who speak up and it's like, no, this isn't happening. We're not doing this, right? The various police chiefs around the country, the ones who are speaking up and saying, no, this is not what we do. This is not what this is about. And that right there wasn't proper, first of all, because there are trainings in various cities against that. That is not proper. So I mentioned infiltrating the system, but also doing research and finding out like what companies partner with organizations, partner with certain organizations by funding them, right? Find out about them. Some of them are public and some of them are private. But the way I look at it is, if you as a business, as a company, don't represent what I represent or value what I value, or goes against it, please know and believe I'm not going to support you. I'm not going to spend my money. I'm not. And if you all don't believe in the power of the black dollar, refresh your memory on the Montgomery bus boycotts, okay, and how long it took for those bus systems to get shut down. Why? They didn't realize how much they really relied on the black dollar. Or maybe they did realize it, but they didn't think that we realized it. Okay, and that's the thing. We need to understand and realize the power in our dollars. In this capitalist system, this capitalist society, oh, best, please believe. Please know and believe the power of the black dollar. Okay, let's be wise on how we spend our money and how we decide to fight back, because we can and we absolutely should, but let's have wisdom in it as well. I prayed this morning because I honestly didn't know what I was going to talk about. I didn't want to say anything, to be quite honest. My heart was heavy and I didn't want to talk about anything, okay, especially not anything that's super light and fun and cute and all of that, because who cares right now, right? But I was led to the scripture, 1 John 3:18, which is, let us not show love through words and through our speech, but through truth and action. All right, we have the video footage, so we have the truth. It's right there in our face what happened, the injustice of it, right? So now we have the ability to act, but let's act strategically and let's act smart, okay? Because us burning down our own cities, our own towns, that's not smart, right? That's allowing other people who aren't on the same side of us to sit back and laugh and say, you know what, that's why they're in the positions that they're in. Let's rise up above that, because we are above that. We are, and not just black people, everyone. Because this wasn't just like a racial attack. This was an attack on humanity. It was an attack on humanity. That was literally and like a 21st century execution style murder. That's what it is. This murder. Okay? So let us, in a time like this when we are, you know, being strong together, well, some of us are just running rampant with or without Rona, right? But in this time where the message is let us stand together, let's do it across the board, peacefully and with wisdom. Sorry, it's not funny, but that's just what I do. That's a part of like a release for me, to just a little chuckle. All right, anyway, y'all have a good one, and I hope this day is filled with love. Bye.